we're here today to update the people of this state on our efforts to track, prevent, and treat the spread of this H1N1 virus. I was thinking, it just seems like it was 4 months ago when we were having this conversation, and then it was, that we were talking about this issue because this virus does not seem to want to go away. As students all across our state prepare for a new school year, they'll thrust back into very close contact with their peers. They'll be back into to class on the playgrounds, in the locker rooms. They're going to be in that environment of not just sharing great ideas, but they're also going to be sharing germs. And Texans can rest assured that our statewide effort to deal with the H1N1 virus is going very strong. We are more prepared than ever to handle the challenge. We know more about this virus now than we ever have before, including the understanding that our biggest concern is not necessarily the severity of its effects, but it's the fact that many of us just simply haven't built up an immunization to it, or an immunity to it. The folks up here with me today represent a team. They're a team that are taking on this challenge in Texas, and we're keeping very close tabs on the virus, where it is, where it's being identified, what parts of the world, how it's moving around, and the measures that we're going to take to limit that spread. It's an approach that reflects our state's mindset when it comes to potential risk. You know, whether it's a hurricane or a threat to public health, we frankly assess what's headed our way, and then we take very aggressive steps to protect our citizens. In this case, we've loaded up on antiviral medications. We've been drawing them from Strategic National Stockpile, so we'll be ready. They'll be ready if needed. I want to take a minute to thank one of our private sector partners for their role in this, and that's our friends over at HEB. Craig Norman, who is here representing that great company, they're going to be distributing our antiviral stockpile if necessary. One of the strengths of our approach to big challenges like this is the role that the private sector plays. Rather than state government trying to reinvent the wheel on distribution networks, we rely heavily on companies like HEB and others to handle logistics. Speaking of antivirals, I've submitted a letter to the Centers for Disease Control requesting an additional 25% of the Texas allocation of the Strategic National Stockpile. That's obviously to augment the courses that we already have on hand that we received earlier this year that we requested. In addition to the antivirals, we have been aggressively monitoring any reported influenza cases across the state, testing to make sure which are H1N1, which ones are not. We've also worked to improve one of the most effective resources that any challenge like this will present, and that is a well-educated, informed Texas public. The good people at DSHS have worked hard to get the word out on simple measures to reduce the spread of the virus. You know, take some seemingly simple steps like washing your hands, exercising care when you cough or sneeze, staying home to recover if you become sick. We can collectively keep this virus at bay doing what you would think were some pretty simple activities. I've also submitted a request to Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano asking that pandemic flu be included in the disaster category. That already includes things like storms, wildfires, other emergencies. We would like to have it listed there because that allows us to be able to move more quickly and decisively should our state ever need the assistance to address this or any future threat to public health. As we do in these situations that threaten our citizens, we pray for the best and plan for the worst. You can be sure that Texas has a plan to address any challenges we may face during the upcoming flu season.